Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I do not know which part of the world you're watching this video from, but I hope you're having a lovely day and I hope that we can make it a little better for you. What I am here to do is present the AuLives opportunity to you guys through a video. I hope that you gain something out of it. One exceptional thing about this company is that you can choose to work either part-time or full-time, and the next best thing about this opportunity is that no matter which part of the world you live in, with the exception of one or two countries here and there, you can work on this business and you can take it forward in the country you reside. And beyond that, if you are tired of the faces you see, if you are tired of the place, the country you reside in, if you're tired of the weather, the beautiful thing is that you can take this business over to any part of the world you want and continue it there. So with that said, let's get started. AuLives is a network marketing company and it started in October this year, so October 2018, the company launched. We're right now operating in over 190 countries in 5 different continents. We have a very strong corporate team with years and years and years of experience, and the company has a clear strategy to support the vision, and that's something that's to behold, right? So, and the reason for the company existing is that we are right now on the precipice of a financial revolution. What is happening is right now there's a fundamental change in the way people are dealing with this medium of exchange that we call money. There's a shift taking place, and this is all because of the introduction and the inception of the blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. This is right now, it is the present cryptocurrency, and there is no doubt that it is the future. It is essentially the next step in the financial market, and the market is wide open for anyone willing to learn. Right, because what happened when a shift took place in the way human exchange information from facts and papers to the World Wide Web, what happened was the people who gained the most out of it were the ones who educated themselves on what's taking place, right? So that opportunity is there for everyone, and as a company, AuLives truly believes that education will lead to people learning and taking advantage of this shift in paradigm. So education is at the heart of the company, and what AuLives does is promote education on various subjects. So the courses, they're available online, so you have access to them from any point in the world, and the courses are delivered by our contractual partners, which is Brook Lane College, and the courses are also accredited by UK examining bodies. These courses, they start with a basic level and they lead all the way up to a master's level equivalent. So we have a whole range of courses, and the courses also, they come with a plus. It's not the educational courses alone, they come with a plus. So should you opt not to take advantage of the courses itself because they come with a plus, what you can opt to do is to donate the educational courses through our foundation. And I'll explain to you exactly how that works. So how do you benefit from these educational packages? It's very, very simple. The educational packages, they range and they start from €100 and they go up, right? And each educational package, they differ in terms of levels. So it starts from BTEC level 1 and it goes to level. And as you can see here, the prices again start from €100, go all the way up to 5,000 on the advanced package. And there's one more thing to note here. Just under the level, you can see that these educational packages come with a plus, and that plus is the free promotional tokens. Now, depending upon the package, you can see that the number of free promotional tokens also increase. The higher the package, the higher the number of free promotional tokens. And I'll explain to you guys exactly what this means. There's also a one-time administration fee of €35 attached to the first package you buy. It's not a monthly thing, it's not an annual thing, it's just a one-time administration fee. So if you start with the initial package and later on choose to upgrade to the Access package, you will only pay this once on the initial package. Right? So the higher packages, they also range and they start from 15,000, go all the way up to €50,000. And as you can see, the levels again differ. They go up in levels in the education, and they also get you a higher number of free promotional tokens. Now, what can you do with these free promotional tokens? What do they mean? Well, the first thing you can do is you can opt to donate these free promotional tokens, just like the education. And what AuLives Foundation will do is use this to aid people around the world who are less inclined, who are in not a great place, let's say. The second thing you can do is you can use these free promotional tokens to get discount on higher educational packages. So should you choose to upgrade, you can use the free promotional tokens to get a discount on the higher package. Now, the final thing you can do with these free promotional tokens, is that you can use them to exchange to SGC, which is a new cryptocurrency, and you can do this via the SGC wallet and the SGC website on SGC chain, right? So before I continue, what I want to do is play a short video that explains exactly what SGC is, then I'll resume the presentation.
Today, the vast majority of the world's population is unaware that money has lost its true essence. That is, money no longer maintains its economic value as over time it depreciates. Why? Because money has lost the intrinsic value that gold and silver used to bring to it in the past. The ancient Egyptians introduced gold as a form of currency around 5,000 years ago. This idea quickly spread throughout the world as national and global trade emerged. For the following millennia, gold was the medium for exchange, durable, finite, and governed by the economic principle of supply and demand. However, while very stable, it too had its limitations. Gold was heavy to carry and risky to transport, so the idea of storing gold in reserves and issuing IOU notes for the respective amount was born. Those IOU notes later turned into the modern-day banknotes, with one exception. The classical gold standard dictated that currencies were completely backed up by gold. For every note printed, its respective value in gold was stored, ready to be redeemed. This restricted the government or the central bank's ability to print notes freely. These restrictions were later reduced and eventually removed. The gold standard was brought to an end, and today the practice of freely printing money is being exercised unlike ever before. Between 2008 and 2018, more money has been printed than at any other time in history. The inevitable financial crisis of 2008 led to an uprise of distrust in established financial institutions, leading innovative minds to create systems that bypass the necessity of human input altogether. This paved the way for the inception of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. Governed entirely by computational power and mathematics, it is everything that the current financial system isn't. Borderless, secure, transparent, accessible, not susceptible to human corruption, and most importantly, finite. However, in its brief history, the cryptocurrency market has proven to be extremely volatile. This is because there is no asset to back up the cryptocurrencies and therefore stabilize and manage extreme fluctuations. History shows that fiat currencies can and have failed over time. We also know that currencies with an intrinsic value like gold have proven to be the most stable and served humanity for the longest period. It is only logical then to combine the stability and durability of gold with the technological superiority of cryptocurrency. Introducing the next step in the evolution of money, secured gold currency. SGC is a cryptocurrency backed by gold with a limit of 500 million coins. SGC runs on a blockchain truly capable of serving the global market, where each coin is backed up by and linked to a recorded sum of gold. Led by a dedicated visionary committed to integrity, the founder continues to work on an array of projects to increase the utility of the coin, primarily focusing on usability and education. SGC is social, global, and easy to access. It provides a unique opportunity to nourish and develop an exponentially growing number of users and merchants through a system that will ultimately aid the utility of SGC. The question is not if asset-backed cryptocurrencies are going to play a role in the world of payments. The question is, are you going to take advantage of it? If so, be sure to set up your financial future and join the most significant platform to do so. Secured gold currency.
Right, so that was secured gold currency, a new cryptocurrency. But what is essentially a cryptocurrency? Just to sum it up, cryptocurrency is the next step in money, right? It's smart, programmable, digital money that all of it resides within networks. and they're all governed by computers, right? Nodes. So there's no need for any middle parties. There's no need for a central bank or a bank to get involved. It all runs on a system, and it is governed and overseen by cryptography, which makes it very, very secure. Now, this cryptocurrency, you have access to your cryptocurrency at all times, because it's kind of like having an email account, but for your money. And all of it is accessible to you at any point you wish. You can send as much of it, let's say 1 or 2 million euros, dollars, or pounds on a Sunday evening at 11 p.m. to another side of the world, and you won't have to get clearance and permission from anyone, because all of the money resides with you at all times. And that's one good thing about cryptocurrencies, right? That it's completely digitized money, so you don't need the permission of a third party, because it is yours and it's always accessible to you, right? So there are some other additional benefits that cryptocurrencies they offered, I should say, actually. And these benefits were initially to help the world tackle some challenges that it's facing. One of those was to bank the unbanked, because right now around 2 billion adults, close to 2 billion adults, have no access to banking, and much of these people reside in the poorer parts of the world, parts like Africa, Latin America, parts of Asia. So this is a real challenge, because what's happening is these people are cut off from the global economy. And so their financial status continues to stay in the same place as it is, which is not a very healthy place, right? So with cryptocurrency, what you can do is bank the unbanked. How? Because more often than not, to get a bank account, what you need to do is fulfill KYC protocols, which means know your customer. And for these, banks require an ID as well as an address, and many of the people residing in those parts of the world do not have this, right? But with cryptocurrency, all you would need is a simple phone, right? A phone, and you've got essentially an active bank account through that, because all cryptocurrencies need is a digital wallet, and it's a simple application that you can put on your phone just like any other. So this can truly aid people and empower them to take part in not only in their local markets, but national and global markets, through having some kind of currency that you can transact with globally, worldwide. So the second point was that the remittances industry bears a hefty cost on people who transfer money from one place to another, right? So the remittances industry stands at $600 billion. That means that there are companies in the middle, companies like Western Union and MoneyGram, that charge just for transferring money from one part of the world to another, and they charge anything from a couple of percentages, a couple of percent, all the way up to 29%. Right, which is incredible. And more often than not, these costs are they become the burden of the poorer parts of the world, right? Because they wouldn't need to be transferred any money if they didn't truly need it from family and people around the world who are helping them, right? So this is another big issue. And the final one is that what's happening today is a lot of people in the world, even in the developed countries, they have money resting in the bank. Right? And what is happening to that money on a day-to-day basis is it's losing its true value over time, because money, as we know it, is no longer a great store of value, because over time the central banks, the governments, they're printing more and more of the currencies. And what happens when something's in great supply but the demand isn't there, the value automatically drops. So what $100,000, euros or pounds, is worth today, it's not the same as what it will be in 50 years time. So to protect people's wealth, what cryptocurrencies introduced was this idea of bringing something that's deflationary rather than inflationary. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, cryptocurrencies by nature, majority of them come with a finite limit. That means that there's a set limit, and beyond that, you cannot produce any more of it. It's kind of like those new suitcases we take away on holiday with us. They no longer have keys and padlocks, they have codes, right? Either you've got 3-digit numbers or 4-digit number codes that you punch in, or whatever, and then your lock opens up. Now, in the same way, the algorithm determines that there's a set number of coins produced within these cryptocurrencies, right? And once that limit is reached, you cannot exceed it. So just like in those suitcases, you cannot get a higher number than 999 or 9,999, depending on whether it's 3-digit or 4-digit. In the same way, cryptocurrencies, you cannot alter the amount. Once it's set, that is it. So what this means is that over time, as the demand grows for these cryptocurrencies, the value also increases, right? This is the sole thing. It's this economic principle that took the cryptocurrencies we know today from a couple of cents, almost worthless, to hundreds and thousands of dollars per coin, right? So we saw last year that there's still some gaps within the cryptocurrency market, that it's a young market and it still needs these gaps fulfilled. And SGC as a company have seen three potential areas of opportunity where they can improve upon the current cryptocurrencies. The first one being security. Now, what do they mean by security? It isn't that cryptocurrencies lack security, because we know that by far and away cryptocurrencies are even more secure than the current financial system, because it's aided by cryptography, right? So not even supercomputers can hack these systems. That's how immaculate this is, but this cryptocurrency phenomena is. But what we mean is that there's no security behind each of these coins, and by that what we mean is asset. And when there's no asset, there's nothing to determine the lower threshold of the coin. So what this means is essentially a cryptocurrency can be worth $20,000 per coin one day, and the next it can be worth $6,000, right? Now here's a question. If a cryptocurrency reaches a market value of $20,000 per coin, but 50% of it is backed up by an asset like gold, could it possibly drop back down to $6,000? No, because 50% of it is backed by a real-world asset. Right now, this is the exact thing that happened to Bitcoin. It hit a height of $20,000 and then it dropped back down to $6,000. So this is what we mean by there's a gap in this area. The second gap is in terms of stability, and of course, security affects the stability, the second factor. And what happens here is, because there's no security behind these currencies, the market becomes or is likely to be volatile, that the price can be at point A one day and then reach point B the next day, and these two points can be there can be a great disparity between them, right? And these two factors can also affect the third factor, which is usability. Now, what do we mean by usability? Usability essentially talks about something that's adopted by the mass and it's being used on a daily basis. And what prevents this from happening is right now that these cryptocurrencies, they're very volatile, right? So, and to businesses, it's not attractive for a cryptocurrency to be worth $20,000 one day and then $6,000 another day and $4,000 on another day, right? So they're reluctant to accept something like this. Now, right now, the cryptocurrency market looks something like this, or I should say the people who know about cryptocurrency, it looks like something like this. Now, bear in mind that that's still maybe less than 1% of the world that have heard about cryptocurrency, but that market looks like this. About 10% of those people believe that cryptocurrency is the way forward. It is going to take over banks and the world, and it's the thing. Now, on the other side rests the other 10% of people who believe that cryptocurrencies, they're fake, they're air, they're virtual money that will disappear, and the value it has with it tomorrow, and you could lose and will lose everything. So they tend to stay away from it. But the larger part of the market looks something like this. About 80% have heard the term cryptocurrency or have heard the names of one or two cryptocurrencies. They are ready to be educated. They don't know which way to go, and that is the true focus of SGC. Right now, how does SGC deliver? How does it deliver security? Well, as the video mentioned, behind each coin at the point of release, 50% of each coin is backed by real gold, and that's not just any kind of gold. That's 24 karat 999.9 LBMA certified gold, and that gold is always accessible to the user. And what do we mean by this? That the gold that backs up the value of your coin, you can ask for it at any time. It's stored in vaults around the world. We'll start the storage will start from Singapore, and it will spread throughout the world. But what this means is at any point you can ask for the gold that's backing your coin. So you can either have it sent to you, you can either go and pick it up, and there is a third option, a third way of using the value of the gold that rests behind your coin, and I'll speak about that as well. Now, so you've got security. The gold is offering security, and it adds an element of stability. Now, what do we mean by this? Well, it's very simple. Let's say that I acquire the coin at the point where each coin today is worth €2. Now, what we know is that 50% will be backed up by gold, right? So that is €1, right? This gives me, let's say I acquire that coin at the point of €2. This gives me a level of assurance knowing that it cannot drop below the value of gold that rests behind my coin. Let's say tomorrow someone else gets involved, and at that point the price of each SGC jumps to €10 per coin. When a new person acquires the coin, at this point, the company at the point of release backs it up by €5, right? So let's say tomorrow it jumps to €10. The company at the point of release backs each coin up by €5 of gold per coin. Right now, this gives the person who came in initially at the €2 price point, it gives them a level of assurance knowing that the new people will not sell their coin for anything less than €5 or roughly thereabouts, right? So this adds a level of security. Now, let's say somewhere down the line, the coin price reaches €50, right? For people acquiring the coin at that point, the company at the point of release will back up each coin by €25 worth of gold. Right? So through this method, each new person who comes in delivers another level of security to the system by increasing the lower threshold of the coin price, meaning the price below which it cannot drop. So for people who get involved, let's say at the point where each coin has reached €50, they will not sell their coin for anything below €25. Right? Now this adds a level of security for everyone else who've obtained their coins for different price at different price points. Sorry, right? Now bear in mind that the system is not entirely dependent, and SGC is not entirely dependent on gold, nor does it run based on this simply, nor is it a one-to-one representation of gold. Now, what this means is that the gold is there to deliver a measure of security and therefore stability, i.e. price points below which the coin cannot drop, but we have to understand one thing, that people will not care about the gold that's behind their coin when they get involved at a point where each coin is worth €2, but somewhere down the line it reaches €100, right? So it's only there to offer the initial security and add an element of stability for the value of the coin and prevent volatility, essentially. Right now, SGC has three real phases, a strategy in place on how to take this coin from point A out into a public exchange. And that the phase starts with the initial one starts with building demand for this coin throughout the world. Now, what this means is that through the partnerships they've acquired through Brook Lane College, they're not only educating people around the world, but they're also giving them an opportunity to acquire the coin should they choose. Now, the first phase will be characterized by building a community of users around the world. Now, the goal for SGC is to reach 250,000 KYC approved members throughout the world. Now, I personally believe this is a very easy target to reach. Now, all the while that the company is building demand for the coin, they deliver an element of usability from day one. And this is what I meant earlier, that there's a third way you can use the value of gold. Now that's through the MasterCard. So SGC has aligned themselves with a MasterCard provider, and what they are willing to do is essentially deliver a credit line through this partnership, deliver a credit line on the value of gold behind your coins. And you can use that at any point in time. Now here's another question. Where is MasterCard accepted? It's anywhere in the world, right? So you can use at any point, you can, once you are KYC approved, you can obtain the card and you can use the value of gold that rests behind your coins at any given point, right? The second phase will be characterized, and there'll be a big focus on usability. So once the 250,000 figure is reached, what SGC plans to do is open up a merchant's platform, right? And on this merchant's platform, businesses will be encouraged to come on board and accept in return for their products and services, accept SGC plus cash, right? Now, the added value for these merchants and businesses around the world is that they get an access to free promoting their products and services to a large number of people around the world for free, right? Now, what will also happen is this through this platform, these businesses, they'll get essentially free marketing tool, but as well as that, they get access to obtaining SGC because they start accepting a percentage of the value in SGC and another percentage in cash. What these businesses can also do, they can opt into the buyback program, which means if they want to increase their cash flow, they want to get rid of the SGCs that they've gathered through trade, what they can do is opt to sell it back to the company at a reduced level. And what this will start is this will create an internal trading volume between businesses and the company. And once this figure, so there's a goal set, once this figure reaches €1 million, the company will hit, SGC will hit the third phase, and that is to open up an exchange, enlisting the top cryptocurrencies around the world, as well as the top fiat currencies, as well as, of course, featuring SGC on there. And at this point, SGC will open up to the rest of the world, not just the network. It will open up to the rest of the world, and it'll be openly bought and sold globally. Right now, that's the first part of the business. So just to sum up, AuLives, a network marketing company, promotes the educational packages that our contractual partner provides, which is Brook Lane College. And with these educational packages, what Brook Lane College offers are free promotional tokens, which we can either donate to AuLives Foundation, we can either use it to get discounts on higher packages, or we can opt to exchange it for SGC, which is the secured gold currency, and you've seen the value that you could potentially gain from opting to exchange it from secured gold currency. Now, there's a second side to the business attached, and this part it's not an obligation, but there is some stigma attached to this. Unfortunately, building a network, MLM and network marketing is looked down on by some, and when you introduce it to some people, these words start coming into their head, words like pyramids and Ponzi and scam and all of this. But here's the thing. The second side, firstly, it's not an obligation. The second thing is that what this is a result-based marketing strategy. That's all network marketing is, right? And the biggest companies in the world have used this without actually giving it this term, because they used it in an ingenious way. The most powerful form of marketing in the world is relationship and referral marketing. And the biggest companies in the world, as I said, have used this. Some of you may be familiar with a company called Facebook, right? Facebook started in a dorm room in a college or university in America, right? And it spread from one friend to another. Now, bear in mind, at that point, MySpace already existed, right? But it spread from one friend to another, and eventually it went from one uni to another. And today, over 2 billion people have Facebook accounts, right? Now, Facebook used relationship and referral marketing, but their genius was they didn't pay a single person to market their product, right? In the same way, some of you, if you haven't heard of Facebook, you might have heard of Google. Right? In the same way, when Google appeared in the market to begin with, they didn't have a huge marketing budget. So what happened was people started using this search engine, and they told others on how much more efficient it is, how much better it is than Yahoo and Netscape. And the word spread. It went from one person to another, and today every single person knows or has heard of what Google is, right? And just like this, there's many other companies who use the relationship and referral marketing strategy. Companies like American Express, Virgin Media, big companies use it. They offer credit to customers who bring in new customers, right? So this is not something to be seen as illegitimate or taboo, because other companies are already making something out of our network without giving this name to it, right? So should you choose, this side is very, very rewarding, and what we do is we build up a network of people who are getting educated on cryptocurrency, and they're getting educated on the system, and all the while they're making money from it. So how this works, I'll explain to you shortly, but before that, a little disclaimer that earnings as an AuLives independent business owner is based solely upon the successful sales of products and services, right? As with any business, earnings and success at AuLives are not guaranteed, but depend on the individual's effort, right? Business volume is generated through purchases of products and services, and finally, a commissionable volume of 50% or CV is assigned to each product and service, not including the administration fee. Bonuses are calculated as a percentage of the 50% commissionable volume or CV. So what does this mean? Well, the first bonus we have in place is a direct sales bonus. So anyone you introduce into the business, whatever package they purchase, you make 10% on the commissionable volume, right? So 10% on the commissionable volume, regardless of the package. It could be the initial package at 100 euros, or it could be the advanced package at 5,000 euros. You make 10% on the CV, right? So any person who you introduce directly, remember, this is the key. So let's say this lady, she introduces these two people. She gets the direct sales bonus. Now, these two people introduce these guys. Now, the two people, they now get the direct sales bonus, not the initial lady who started, right? So this is a one-off bonus, the direct sales bonus, but we have other bonuses. The second bonus is the network bonus. How this works is we build the business in a binary system, which means each person who starts have a left side and a right side. And what the system does is, as your team builds and grows, as business volume begins to come in, the system calculates how much business coming in on each side, right, on your left side and right side. And what it does is it pays out 10% on the lesser side, whichever one that may be. So in this example, you've got left side that's 100,000, the right side that's 200,000. The system pays out 10% on the lesser side, right? And what happens for the following week is the side you got paid on goes to zero, but the greater side, the difference is calculated between the lesser and the greater, and the difference is carried forward for the following week. So the following week, your business starts with 100,000 on the right side, because that was the remainder, that was the difference, and on the left side, because you already got paid, goes to zero, and the cycle repeats itself, right? And this continues up until your business and your network is growing. Right? Now, bear in mind that the network bonus counts to, the system counts the business volume coming in to an infinite level, right? So it could be could be coming in on your 1,000, 10,000 level, and it will be calculated towards your business volume. Now, the final bonus is the matching bonus. How this works is people are encouraged, experienced people are encouraged to help those who are new to the business, and just by helping them earn a network bonus, the company pays you a matching bonus on top of the network bonus that you help them make. Not on top of, on the network bonus you help people make. So let's say in the previous example, the network bonus made was 10,000 euros, right? Let's say someone I introduced personally, they're counted as my first generation, right? And someone they introduce is counted as my second generation. And whoever they introduce is counted as my third generation. And this goes up to 4 generations, right? So the matching bonus is paid only up until 4 levels, right? So let's say I help someone make 10,000 in network bonus who's on my first generation. What the company does is pays me 10% on the network bonus I help them make. So 10% of 10,000 is 2,000, right? Sorry, 10% of 10,000 is 1,000, but of course we build in a binary system. So on my first level, I've got one person on my left and one person on my right. So if I help 2 people make 10,000 network bonus in a week, the company pays me 2,000 matching bonus, 2,000 euros matching bonus. Now, if that person's on my second generation, again, it's 10%. If it's on my third generation, it bumps up to 20%. So rather than getting 1,000 on helping one person earn 10,000 in network bonus, I get 2,000. Right? And on the 4th generation, it goes up to 25%. So that when you consider the exponential growth, 2 people introduce 2 each, that's 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16. When you consider the exponential growth, and if you can build in this manner, just by helping those people make money, the company rewards you, and they reward you great sums. Right, so those are the 3 bonuses. Now we've also got a leadership system in place. The company knows and understands that people will kill for money, but they will die for recognition. So we've got positions that start from team trainer, go up to executive team leader, and regional director, chairman, vice president, all the way up to president. Now bear in mind that these positions are obtained simply by helping people, right? All you have to do is help people reach a certain position, earn a certain amount of money, and build a certain structure, and you obtain these positions. Simply put, the more people you help, the higher up the ranks you go. Now, up until the regional director position, on a single account, you can make up to 20,000 euros per week, right? But when you hit the chairman position, the company gives you an added incentive, so they bump up the cap to 25,000. So it goes from 20,000 to 25,000. And when you hit the prestigious position of vice president, it bumps up again to 30,000. And when you hit the pinnacle position, which is the president, this point the account is capped at 35,000 euros per week, right? Now, what you can also do is make multiple accounts, and we've seen people using this very system make multiple 5, 6 figure digits per week and even more per month, right? So it's an exceptionally powerful system should you decide to do the networking part of the business. Now, at this point, there's only 3. You need to decide which role you want to adopt, and there are 3 roles, right? The first one is people who are ready to start. With the people who are ready to start, I would encourage you to contact the people who sent you this video, contact them and ask them how you can get started. I'm sure they'll be more than willing to help. There's a second category of people who, of course, might have some additional questions. Again, I would suggest that you contact the person who sent you the video. I'm sure they will have either the answers for you, or they can connect you with someone who has all the answers. And the final group or category of people are who have seen this business opportunity and they believe that it's not for them. Nevertheless, we thank you for your time. We thank you for sitting through and watching the information. But time learned something is never time wasted. And I hope that you have learned through this presentation something new today. Now, with that said, what I'm going to do is wrap up the presentation. I thank you for your time. I hope that you have learned something, and my sincerest wish for you is to go back to the person who showed you this video and have your questions answered, or get insight on how to start as soon as possible. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.